We're going to go to Ms Benham.
Thank you, Chair. Morning, Minister.
Morning.
With regard to the gender equality budget statement and the safe workplaces for women, how much has been allocated in this year's budget for that initiative?
So I was proud to announce $5.5 million in March this year that was from previous budgets. So that program has only just been launched in conjunction with our partners across the state, including VECI, Trades Hall and a coalition of legal centres who are providing a working women's centre service predominantly funded through the Commonwealth, but will be extended into rural and regional areas through our support. So that funding only got released and announced this year. We'll be looking forward to how we continue to support the work as it rolls out into the future.
So in what month did you say that had started?
March.
In March, okay. So how is that going to be? Have you got any KPIs or measurement metrics to understand its effectiveness? How is that going to be measured?
Yeah, there will be a review and an assessment done on the program.
Internal review?
No, the actual organisations, as part of their contract for the work, will have to have an independent review undertaken. I might ask Kate to supplement on that.
Absolutely. Thank you for the question, Ms Benham. So as part of this process, all of our funded providers will be required to assess their impact and have very strong KPIs and metrics as part of the contract going forward. In the case of Trades Hall and VECI, we will be doing yearly reviews and considering additional funding or ongoing funding beyond 2 years once we have a look at those outcomes in accordance with the KPIs.
Thank you. So it will be based at further funding's based on outcomes?
It absolutely.
Great, thank you. So in March this year, there was that horrific report in The Age about shocking examples of mistreatment of women and violence against women on government building sites. And I think we all know the stories about one being bashed, locked in a small room. Given those three projects were government-funded projects, I'm interested to know if there has been support, or, Minister, if you've spoken to the women who spoke up and complained, has there been any support or outreach? Has there been any measures to make sure the perpetrators have been dismissed and no longer permitted on government work sites, and what's being done to prevent this in the future?
I thank the member for her question. I think this is probably more a work-safe investigation more than a women's portfolio type.
Doesn't come under the Safer Workplaces for Women?
Well, our program is a proactive one that is about educating in the workplace to prevent this from happening, educating employers to make sure that this sort of behaviour is nipped in the bud and stopped before it happens. In terms of an ongoing investigation into what happened to those women, that is something that would be done by WorkSafe. And I agree with you, it was a disgusting behaviour. And I can't comment about what investigations are happening there, but what I can tell you is that I'm proud that this government is putting in place a program where we are trying to stop this sort of behaviour happening across a number of industries, to set a new benchmark to say that this is not acceptable.
With regard to that and moving forward with this program, are we able to get a list of what the detailed KPIs are that you're measuring against?
I think that there is probably there's an agreement that is in place with these organisations. When you say KPIs, I say outcomes.
Yep.
So, yes.
So what I mean when we say that the continued funding and there are specific metrics to see how effective the program is, can we get details on that provided to us?
I will be making all of the results of any assessment that happens on a program like this public anyway.
Yeah, can we see, but before those reports come out, can we see what exactly the measurements are?
Well, yeah, I'm sure you can. But
I'm guessing the department knows exactly what they are.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, it's been a very careful consideration of a range of metrics here. We've got direct legal support for women through the consortia, and that will be, in response to raising awareness as part of the other program.
I'm happy to take if we can just get the KPIs supplied on notice, that would be great.
I don't think we refer to them as KPIs, is my point. We talk about outcomes. We want X amount of people delivered training. We want X amount of work sites to be addressed. We want a range of sectors to be covered. That's the outcomes we're looking for.
But it's been spoken about as in terms of KPIs even earlier. We've mentioned KPIs. So there are specific KPIs. If I can get what they are on notice, that would be great.
We can give you what expected outcomes we don't refer to them as KPIs.
Okay, can I get those on notice, please?
Yes.
Great, thank you. When we talk about our equal state, and this is budget paper 3, page 128, the government's Gender Equality and Strategy Action Plan, is additional funding required for the rollout of this strategy? And if so, how much are we looking at?
Because the strategy goes across every single portfolio, we have worked with every minister in putting this plan together to ensure that policies within each department are delivering towards that. So our commitments to the Payne inquiry, our commitments to standing up new facilities for women's health, they are all line items that meet the outcomes here. The Safer Workplaces program, they're all line items. Does the actual action plan have its own line item? No, it doesn't, other than the fact that we have a consultative committee of around about 10 people who we work with to ensure that we're on track in implementing the plan. That would be the only kind of dollar support that comes with the plan's ongoing implementation. But certainly the role of the department in working across all departments to see how it's tracking is a big part of that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. We're going to go to